Today, we're not even ranking the best guns in Arc Raiders, not even the best grenades or the deadliest Arc threats. We are getting proper weird with this one. We're ranking every single Arc enemy based on their smoking hot chassis, explosive saucy vibes, and their killer Riz game, and pure unadulterated robo naughty appeal. This is the Arc Raider tier list that you've never seen before. Okay, so here is the tier list that I made for this video, okay? So we have got the hot damn. They are basically the top tier of the sex appeal. They have game, they have looks, they have the charisma, they have everything, and that's why they be on the top. We got the sexy, we got like I'd hit, like I would just hit that, but nothing too special, not for me. And we also got the ew extract, meaning that we don't want anything to do with them, like in that kind of way at all. Okay, so we got all the arcs at the bottom here. We're gonna rank them all based on their sex appeal. And we're going to find out who deserves to be on the top of this sex chain. Now, we'll kick things off with the spotters. Now, if I'm being completely honest, these guys are still waiting for their puberty invite. He is basically rocking the world's saddest soft curve that anyone's seen. Hindsight, flaccid. And yeah, they are the tiniest contestants in the lineup, okay? So there's a bit of no contest there. But here's the genius plot twist for the girls out there with this guy. Those perky little tips are like built-in laser pointers, okay? Position guidance system activated with those little things. Meaning they're gonna nail the G-spot every single time they hit. No GPS required, okay? There's no awkward of a little bit to the left sort of instructions going on with that. It's just bullseye every time they move. And that's exactly, and I think that's why we call them spotters, because they don't just dominate the map, they're there to hit the target every single time. So even though they may be underage, in an Arc world that could be different. So that's crazy. So I'm going to put it onto the I'd hit category in a non-weird way of what I just said before. We might as well move on to the snitchers. So they're basically spotters, but they kind of like just hit the gym like one leg a day and then just quit. So they're not that big of a difference to me. They're almost identical with the spotters, same vibe and same energy, I'd say, but they're just slightly bigger. But keyword, still flaccid. But they don't have tip game like the spotters do, okay? They have zero laser pointer privileges, okay? Instead of guiding you to the promised land, these poor little guys just scream for help when they don't know what they're doing. They're the type of boys that calls an SOS text message at 2 o'clock in the morning to the boys when something is not going their way. And it also shows it's not about the size, it's about how you use it, which I would tell myself in the mirror every morning. So to be honest, I will put that in not for me. Okay, let's move on to the pops. Now, pops are quite easy to explain with this one. I imagine pops as a whole squad of absolute nymphos. They're strutting in with their hottest outfit on to the club with their little dress on. I mean, it's not really a dress. It's like a rapper like thing around them. But it does have pure style points with that as well. They're dressed to impress. They're flashing all their charisma that they can muster. But the second they spot an opportunity, this is where the excitement overload comes in. They start making the wildest noises. They're like ducks, okay? They roll up to you and attempt game. But the closer they get to you, the more nervous they get. And that's why they quicker, because their heartbeat, it's like their heart rate, I think. I think they're going along with their heart rate. But when they get too close, right, Libdo kicks in like crazy. Self-control is gone. They literally pop themselves off before the main event happens, okay? Great for fireworks shows, all right? Great for the finishes, all right? But they just can't help themselves for a long-term relationship. They have zero stamina, okay? But they do have the maximum drama of like the whole thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Which is why these tragic little party poppers out there are gonna be ranked on the... Actually, you know what? I take it back. I'm gonna put it on sexy because they got the style on, okay? And they have a great personality, in my opinion. Like, they're like, and then they just explode. If you're a giver, then that's the one for you. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the fireballs. These guys are noticeably bigger than the pops, okay? Only slightly, though. They don't have the fancy wrapper around them, unfortunately. But they are more polished. They do have a nice glow to them. So if you like shaved, you can step closer towards the fireballs. Now, this is where something gets a bit interesting. Their signature play is a bit more savage than the pops, in my opinion. The moment they spot someone, they don't flirt, okay? They don't do anything like that. They don't tease. They don't, like, you know, make a move on you. They literally flash their balls. That instantly gets everyone's faces red by fluster, by nervousness. Oh, I thought my girlfriend came in. I don't know how to explain this video to her. Anyway, and it will make you run away. Actually, let's get to that. There are 3 reactions, I think, of what you would do if they flash his balls on you. 1 is that you would run away and hide because you get too nervous. 2, you would fall onto the ground and, like, you know, pass out because of how shiny and extravagant its balls are. Or 3, you will just shoot it and kill it because of how offended you were. But you would only shoot it when they flash out, because then obviously it's critical to damage if you shoot them in the balls. It is terrible at consent. So these glowing Showerths are gonna go into the I'd hit because it doesn't have the style points like the pops do. Next up is the wasps. I'm not gonna lie, they're just basic bitches to me. Basic wasps. Basic bitches. I don't find anything appealing about these ones, to be honest with you. They fly, which is great. Like, if you call them up, they'll probably come to you, no problem. Like, they're great for planning hookups with, in my opinion. But they're too easy to break. You'll push them over, or you'll push them in the wall, push them on the bed, or you'll just give it a little tug, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, it just breaks. They lack conversation. They have the most basic conversation attack that you can think of. It's just, you know, I mean, they're bullets, but that's how I think arcs have a conversation. So, and I think it's very basic. So, ew, extracts. We don't want them in our lives. We want them gone. They're just basic bitches, and we don't want any basics in our tier list today. Next up is going to be the Hornets. Now, the Hornets are something special. These are total professionals compared to the wasps. I'm going to tell you why. When they get into action, they'll hit you with the electric shock treatment, okay? Full body seizure mode activated. And you know we love it. We love being stunned during the process. If they hold you down and, you know, give you a seizure spot, then you know the energy is right there, man. If you're the submissive type, of course. Style game's on point as well. It's got this, like, nice slick back hair. It's not really slick back, actually. It's like slick forward. Like, it's definitely got like a hairdo going on there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it literally just looked like it just left the barbers. What I do like is that it wears a metal armored bra at the front for protection and straight up exposing their rear, okay? Meaning that they are begging to take it from the back. But have you ever thought about that, though? Like, why is it that they're wearing an armored bra but exposing their rear side? You know why, don't you? But higher material for sure. I'm going to put them onto sexy, but in front of the pop as well, because I think it definitely has better style than the pops do, which is fantastic. Next up is the Surveyors. Now, even though they've got the biggest balls in the game, like the biggest balls, I'd say, they are the biggest introverts out of them all. They patrol solo and only expose themselves when the coast is clear, when there's no squad, no spotlight, just pure solo play energy. And of course, they can't resist live streaming it for some reason. That's what the blue beam is for, to the sky. They're like scanning for like people to watch them do some solo play for some reason. However, if you do engage with them, they either run away because they're not ready and too nervous. That's probably why they've got big balls, because you know, like they're probably blue balled like as hell because they don't get action, or they will attempt to ram their balls into you. They get hot and flustered before they do it. You know how they like get steamed up. They're like, oh, okay, it's all or nothing. Whee! And then they like attempt game with you. If they hit, it's fine. Like it's not the biggest like damage. It's like okay. But there is maximum awkwardness afterwards because they do feel shame. They either run away after they attempt game, they like try to hide from you and they don't want anything to do with you. And that's it actually. I think they do that every time. I think they like hide from you after they try to attempt game with you. We'll also put that in the to be honest, probably in the not for me. They're just two introverts. They don't really they don't like socializing. What we got next? Sentinels. Sentinels, I imagine, are old. There are a total porch-dwelling granddads out there. They like to sit outside, kick back with the beers and have a cigarette, and they're leering at everyone who like comes by. And they are straight up perverts, in my opinion, because they actively hunt for people to catcall them. They crank up their ultimate cat call. You can see it coming. Like you see like it looking at you and he's like, I'm gonna cat call you, and it's gonna come up like it's probably gonna beep a car at you or say like you look at that fat ass or something like that, and you will. It is so offensive of what they do and so bold that it actually injures you. It even makes your shield nervous because that's just basically gone after it does catcall you, and the only thing to do is to hide from it, and then they completely forgot what to say to you like if you don't look at it. So that's like the best attempt to do. They do have a nice size in my opinion, but they're just lazy, man. They just have no mobility whatsoever. So instead of actually putting that to work, they just like say naughty stuff from afar instead. So we're gonna put that as not for me. Okay, it's not like a complete disgusting arc, but it's not exactly the best at its work, if you know what I mean. Now, I don't know what these are called. I'm just gonna call them turrets. I think they're probably just turrets, and I've got to say they're obviously similar to the Sentinels, but they are the ultimate basement dwelling shut-ins. Instead of, at least the Sentinels go outside for fresh air. These turrets sit inside, glued to their dark rooms of wherever they are 24/7. They probably grind on video games or binge watching freak shows, if you know what I mean. Just rotting away in isolation. I'm pretty sure they have zero social skills because whenever they spot you or when they try to make a move on you, they have the most basic conversation skills that just have you hiding in the corner of the room. And the only thing that you can do when it comes to engaging with a turret is to just have a basic conversation back until it explodes. But they're too lazy to make a move on you. So they'll just try to have a chat with you and expect you to make the move on them. So even though they both stay in the same place and they both basically do the same work, at least the Sentinel knows how to make you feel something. The turrets don't really make you feel anything. And they're just as lazy as the Sentinels. Maybe even more lazy because they're inside. So extract. They're in an extraction, people. And they don't look that appealing either to me. At least the Sentinel has got a schlong. This one doesn't. Now, we're going for the Rocketeer. Woo! Holy shit, man. The Rocketeer is the aerial goddess and a straight-up beauty, in my opinion, all right? Metal surgery to perfection. It's got the protection from the front and backside, okay? You can try and level with it one-on-one in the bedroom, but if you do a one-on-one action with the Rocketeer, the chances are that they will probably comatose you faster than a bad hookup. They will take away all of your gear and all of your shields and everything like that. And you will be twitching on the ground, seeing stars, like the Quagmire when he slept with that ugly woman or whatever that episode was. Like that meme when he's like, or something like that. I don't know. But still, yeah, that's how you'll look if you fight the Rocketeer all by yourself. And that's why the Rocketeer is more into group play. So she's a bit of an out there gal, I'd say. She will put you on your knees and you'll try and crawl out of there, but to be honest, she just mocks you once she's done with you. I think the best thing to put is that she's the ultimate dominatrix, forcing you to kneel, literally. So, in my opinion, I think the Rocketeer has the first hot damn category. They are the winners of the tier list so far of the sex appeal, and I think they deserve it. I'm going to move on to the Leaper because I do actually have a few things to say with the Leaper. I think it's a bit of animal cruelty talking about Leapers because they literally have the biggest puppy energy out of all of them. But you gotta say, those legs are to die for. They have the 10 out of 10 legs out of all the arcs out there. They are sleek, they're springy, they're built for pouncing, for thirst traps, Greyhound on steroids. But if you give it a little bit of attention, the tiniest bit of attention with your Snitcher or with Pharaoh or whatever it is that you got, their zoomies gets activated and they full on leap towards you and climb on top of you and ride you like its favorite little chew toy. They're humping, they're more about the physical adrenaline, okay? The Leaper is more of a physical type, and I think they do have the best game and confidence when it comes to that. But they're more of an animalistic side. There are times where you are literally saying, get off of me! While it's like climbing on top of you or anything. But it doesn't. It literally just keeps coming on top of you. Weak game though is pathetic. They do explode quite often. But they are willing to go the second round after they explode. So that's a good thing. But I do have to say, they are bipolar as hell. If you ignore it by hiding in a house, or if you hide in a tunnel or something like that, it storms off pissed. Like, it is absolutely livid when you ignore it for too long. But if you peek out and you give it attention again, it forgives you for everything and it will, like, give you attention again. It pounces right back. And that's why I do think it does have a bit of an animalistic side of this arc. So, to be honest, I am going to put it as sexy because it's got fine legs. It's got a lot of adrenaline. When it comes to it, it's just a bit of a psycho. You know, your psycho ex-girlfriend? That is probably the closest personality-wise that your arc would have. I'm going to lump the Bastion and Bombardier together because they are just basically twins. They have the exact same identity, just slightly different conversational skills. I would say that the Bombardier has less filter than the Bastion, and that's it. There's not much else, which is why I think the Bombardier has more, like, maybe slightly more game because he always has spotters, like, going around with it, as the Bastion, they don't really have anyone around, so I do think the Bastion has a little bit more game. However, they both have total butch energy. They are bulking, they are intimidating as well, and they're built like walking tanks that own the zone if you're the submissive type. However, if you touch their yellow balls, that's supposed to be blue, because you know, and their kneecaps as well, anything that's yellow is their sensitive points, okay? It is an instant weakness. They stagger, they expose more soft spots if you touch them, okay? Their legs buckle, okay? They get a bit, like, nervous and everything. And they literally get weak if you touch them for too long. So, if you're into big daddies that occasionally has their spots that they'd hit, then I would probably put them as the sexy categories right here. What I will do, though, is that I'll probably put the Bastion as a I'd hit instead, as the Bastion does definitely have better game because he's got two ladies next to him, you know, like the spotters that knows game as well. As the Bastion, they're just a little bit more of a loner, just a little bit, but they are still in the I'd hit. In fact, I'll put them up here while these two are at the back. Now we're on to the big boys. We're gonna go for the Queen first, and we're also gonna talk about her lovely husband, the Harvester. I haven't got a picture of him because I only just thought about this now. She is a total experienced queen, probably has almost the best game out of everyone on the list so far. She dabbles down to everything in the category. We're talking about lasers, stomping, the blasters that she does, okay? Making the other arcs look like amateurs. So she has the best game out of everyone here so far. Close to Rocketeer, however, but she is probably into more group play, even more than a Rocketeer. But what lies ahead is actually her ultimate fantasy, and that is turning her beloved Harvester into the biggest cuck ever. She sits back all passive, and I'm not gonna lie, like, they have a great bond, the Queen and the Harvester. They spend a lot of time together. When there's no Harvester event, the Queen is elsewhere. She doesn't want anything to do with anything as long as her husband's not there. But when she spawns in with the Harvester, she loves making the Harvester jealous, man. Oh my days. And the Harvester loves it. If you do a 1v1 on the Queen, she will completely dominate you, and the husband will be absolutely livid by it. However, if you spend time with the husband and hide from the Queen, he will actually appreciate you because he does in fact have that fetish. So if you solve the puzzle inside the Harvester and fiddled inside of him for those sweet loot plays, if you know what I mean, then he will give you what you want. But he is just probably the most sensitive guy out there. If you play with him for too long, he will get flustered. Too flustered, in fact, that he will probably trap you inside. Wait, I'm going so overboard with this. Anyway, on the hindsight, she dominates the field, and he sits back and relaxed and coughs up the good if you play your cards right. I am going to put her as the sexay right here, because what she does to her husband is a bit peak. Last but not least, we have got the matriarchs. These guys have to be in group sessions, because solo play, not enough. Not even 1 or 2 raiders is enough to satisfy. She demands full squads, multiple full squads, in fact, to attempt satisfying its multiple phase appetites. She has the biggest accessories and play toys with her turrets, missiles, lasers, the rockets coming down, the mini summons as well that she does. If she was filmed in the Arc Raiders world sort of way, she'll be the new Riley Reid of the Arcs. Zero chill, all climaxes after climaxes. What the? And I think it's safe to say that the matriarch earns the top spot on the hot damn because they also have that slick front hairstyle. Best style, best game, and it doesn't have that weird fetish like this one does. This one has it all, and that's it. Oh no, wait, that's not it. There's more. I completely forgot there's ticks as well. Hang on. Crap. Right, to be honest, they're just little bugs. If you want to fuck a bug, then you're wrong. So that's going to extraction straight away. Oh, and the freaking shredders. How did I forget about the shredders, man? You know what? They have the biggest metabolism, and I'm going to tell you why. They are very fit. They are very slim. They are like, they got tone, you alright? They got shoulders, okay? But they are slow as hell. If you give it attention, it will attempt game on you. But as soon as they get too close, they do burst. But unlike the pops, they're ready to go again for extra rounds. And no matter how many times you, like, when it finishes every round, they will ask you for another round. They are stamina gods. They don't even know the term post-nut clarity. Even when it hits you with its finishes and you tell it to, like, come on, I had enough, I don't want any more, they will say, come on, you want to go again, don't you? And you're like, no, please. Meanwhile, while it's ready for round 2, it's already revving up those 47s. Infinite refractory periods. So it would have been on the hot damn because they look the best, in my opinion. They have the best tone and the best build. But because of their neediness and cockiness, that gets rid of that. So I think we're going to put that just behind the Queen and in front of the Hornet as the sexiness. And that's it. That's the weirdest Arc Raiders rank you'll ever probably see. And I'm not gonna lie, looking back, I'm very satisfied with it. I think it's a very, very good list. You may have noticed that I only have 50 subscribers on my channel right now. This is probably why. And if you would like to support my channel, please do so, because, like, it would just be kind of cool to have more than 50 subscribers. And comment down below if you want me to do stupid shit like this again. Take care, guys. Have a good night. And maybe you'll see these arcs differently the next time you are facing against them. Have a good night.